Hello world, welcome back to the Razor RC. It's time for the annual channel update. So right around the beginning of February, pretty much on the anniversary of when this channel was putting out content, we'd like to do kind of an update, talk about what's been going on, what's coming up, any changes to the channel. And so first off, did want to give a huge shout out to all the subscribers and viewers out there. We're at about 45,000 subscribers at the time of this video. I think we increased, I don't know, 6,000, 7,000, something like that in the last year. Not exactly sure, but this channel's been going on for, I think, I don't know, 6 or 7 years as well. I'm not exactly sure how long this channel's been going on. Some of you probably know better than me, but yeah, huge shout out to all of you because that is what makes this channel grow. It's really what this whole channel is about. It's for the subscribers. It is for the viewers. I don't do this to make money or get famous or anything like that. I'm not trying to do this full time. This is just to make as good of content as I can to help the industry grow, to help all the viewers out there, you know, make really informed decisions. I firmly believe that the more you understand RC, the better experience you will have. That's what this is all about, giving you as good information as you can so you can buy the right, you know, equipment. You can learn how to best set up your vehicle, learn how to best, you know, fix your RC cars. All that I think is the best way actually to get people to enjoy RC, because the main reason why I think people get out of RC or don't like it or, you know, get frustrated or mad or whatever is because they're probably, you know, not quite understanding something about whether the way they drive or the, you know, the way the RC car should be used or how to fix it or, you know, basically all those things that I think can frustrate people. So big shout out to you. If you are a subscriber, if you aren't, definitely hit the subscribe button. I'm not sure what you're doing here, but anyways, the second thing I wanted to do is give a shout out to, you know, basically all the companies that, you know, support the channel. There are basically like 5 or 6 major ones that have been helping out the channel through the years. AMain, I've been buying stuff from AMain for the last 10 years. That's probably the easiest or best way if you want to financially support the channel. You know, it is expensive to buy all these RC cars and test them and all that. There are links in the descriptions for everything that we show. So if you click on those links, buy something there. It does help out the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. But that is number one. Number two, EuroRC, we've been working with for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. You know, all the stuff that you see from the smaller brands like HPI or even Tamiya or Team Corrale, I would say even, you know, a lot of that comes from EuroRC. They're able to help support the channel, get stuff out to you so you can review some of those things that I typically would not be as likely to buy. So besides just the major brands, there are other content that's a little bit more on the periphery. I think that is, you know, awesome that they've been supporting the channel. Horizon Hobbies, a newer company that's supporting us. So obviously, all of you know who Horizon Hobby is. They make Armas, Axials, TLR, Losis, all that good stuff. So yeah, they've been on board recently, so that's awesome. Team Associate as well, you know, came on board probably in the last 6 months or so. So a lot of the Team Associate content that you see, you know, it does come from Team Associate. I've been buying Team Associate stuff pretty much since the beginning, so no surprise there. Or, you know, I do think they are a great brand out there. And then Team Corrale, you know, newer brand on the block. A lot of the Team Corrale content you'll see, you know, is obviously coming from them. And Gens Ace. I have been running Gens Ace since the beginning. I've been buying Gens Ace batteries since the beginning, so I'm happy to, you know, have them support the channel as well. And then there's a bunch of other, you know, smaller companies, but they do obviously help make content possible. Discount RC Store, where Larla's been killing it with their newer vehicles. Radiolink has, you know, the RC8X, which I think is actually a really good radio. M2C Racing, the #1 brand in aftermarket upgrade parts for your bashers for sure. I think everyone would agree with that. Cal RC, best maintenance products as well, in my opinion. I do like several other products actually. And then Wits Racing has been supporting the channel for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now. So a lot of the racing content does come from Wits Racing. So a big shout out to them. The other thing I want to talk about is just what we've been doing. A lot of bashing content in the last year, a bunch of nitro content as well. I'm really into A-scale nitro buggies. That's one of my favorite things to actually drive if I had my own choice of what I would do for fun. That's been awesome. And then, yeah, of course, some racing content, but not as many racing vehicles have been coming out, so not as much in the last year, but hopefully, you know, in this upcoming year, there will be more of that. Now, other stuff that's going to be going on, I did try to upgrade the equipment a little bit, so hopefully, you know, the lighting is a little bit better here. I did pick up a GoPro Hero, I don't even know what it is, the 13, I think, that I've been running. I'm not totally sure that it's actually better than my old GoPro Hero 7, I think I was running. I don't know. I'm still kind of working out with the settings and stuff. I'm not totally happy with the way it looks, but yeah, all the driving video and stuff like that will be coming from the Hero 13. And then I do have upcoming vehicles that I will be be, reviewing very soon. So I got the Crane EXP here. You've seen some content on it, but I still need to do the full review, as well as the Team Corelli Kagama. I also got that recently, so I do have kind of a shootout between those two and the Sledge. But I do need to do full reviews of each of these in depth, so that will be coming up. Also picked up this little guy, which I haven't shown yet, but the Granite Grom I did pick up. That's been out for a while, but I just got that, probably a month ago or so. But yeah, really need to do more content once I get some time. It's been really busy for me actually with work, and a lot of RC cars have been released in the last 3 months. So yeah, it's been a very busy time. Also going to be doing a bunch of radio reviews. So I do have this, a Relarlo. I'm not sure, what is the name of this thing? I can't even remember the name of this radio, but a nice little Relarlo, color display and stuff, pretty awesome. Is it this one? This guy? No, this is the old one, sorry. Got the wrong radio link. I'm sorry, wrong Fly Sky. Here, the Noble NB4 Plus. So this is actually not even quite released, apparently. But I do have my hands on these. I've been testing this thing, so do need to do a review on that. That will be upcoming. And then also have this one that a lot of people were asking for, the Radio Master CT12. So yeah, this is a lot of radios in the queue. I'm testing and stuff like that. I really want to try to give as good of information on those as possible. But pretty exciting that there's, a few radios out there that are from smaller brands that I think have the potential to be really good options for those of you that want something other than the big, Sanwa, Futaba, and Spectrum radios. So other than that, you'll be seeing a lot more content, of course, bashing content, nitro content, radio content. I really need to do some more like how-tos and stuff. Got some ideas on what I want to put out there that I think people will like, so you'll see some of that. And then the last thing I want to do is kind of go through some Q&A. So I did post a thing in the community page asking people questions and answering type things, and so I think we got 27 questions. I'm going to run through them as fast as possible because I don't want to make like a 40-minute video, and I do have a tendency to kind of drone on and on, so we'll answer these fairly quickly. First off, from Roach RC, everyone check out his channel if you haven't. Probably the best racing content stuff, and I think he's into 8-scale e-buggy now, so a lot of awesome content from him. Do you have any plans on running any 8-scale racing? For example, Silver Dollar. Yes, I'm going to try to. My local 8-scale track still kind of far. It's about an hour and a half away. Currently is closed. They've been closed for about a year, and they really open like once or twice a year. So hopefully they'll open up. They said they would. We'll see if they open up. I will definitely hit that at least for some sessions, some testing or track sessions and stuff like that. Might have the opportunity to check out Channel Islands down in Southern California as well. That looks like an awesome track. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, if something's open nearby, I will go visit. Silver Dollar is pretty far away from where I live, so don't have any plans currently to go visit that. DT Hog asks, thanks for all the info. You're the concern reports. Thank you. That's really kind. I do try to give as good information as possible. He's asking about, or he or she is asking about the Techno RC MT410 V1 versus the Outcast 4S V2.5. So yeah, I would say between all those, I mean, the MT410 V1 is an awesome stunt truck. It is a true stunt truck. The V2 is really more of a 10-scale monster truck. So a different type of vehicle. I do have a full video on that. Between all those vehicles, yeah, I do like the original MT410 the most. It's just the most race level, I would say. The V2, they kind of went a little more basher oriented, but the V1 is a true race vehicle, just with long arms and a short wheelbase. So that is tons of fun. Yeah, Outcast V2.5 I think is also awesome. Much cheaper option, a little bit more basher oriented. But yeah, I would say the original MT410 is my favorite among all those. Utopius21 asks, what are your thoughts on the new Beast 7? Oh, good question. I forgot to show this as well. Yes, I do have a Beast 7, so I need to build this. It's still in the factory, sealed and all that kind of thing. So it looks awesome. I mean, 5-gear transmission is kind of, controversial because probably is not as good for stock racing. We'll see. Looks like it's going to have a ridiculous amount of corner speed. Looks like it's made for high traction surfaces. It is, the V1 of that whole series is a whole new platform. But I am happy to see Team Associate actually come with something completely new, because not a lot of companies will go, completely off script and do something totally different. So that is always exciting. I am excited about trying that thing out. I just need to build it. Mr. Ken SJ5QI, keep posting videos on Arma Crane 4 SV2. I just released the full review of that, so check that out. You're a wealth of information. Well, thank you. That's nice of you to say. Ryan Hansen 3350, Arma or Traxxas? Between the two, I've probably had about equal number of both, maybe a few more Armas at this point. I do think Arma has been releasing a lot of really good videos. Everything that's come out in the last 3 months has been awesome. You've seen tons of videos on that as well, so picked up pretty much everything that's come out from Arma recently. Traxxas just hasn't released that much stuff that is actually new, so I think they're falling behind a bit. That's my opinion. I think they have some good points. They definitely make it easy to get into the hobby, but I do think they like to just release something and never change it. So yeah, I'm not as big of a fan of that, but it does have its pros. Favorite RC YouTuber besides you? Well, I'm not my favorite YouTuber, but I'd say Aussie RC Playground has the best channel. You'll definitely see similarities between what kinds of stuff he does and what I kind of do, and that's probably why I like his channel, because that's the type of content I like to make as well as watch. Another channel I really like, Haggard RC. A lot of people probably have never heard of his channel, but he's a nitro guy out there in the UK. Totally different type of channel, totally different type of personality, but I like his channel. It's just, I guess I like it because he just has a totally different approach to RC, so it's quite exciting. Are you into regular cars? Yes, I have a Lancer Evolution 9 car they don't make anymore, but yeah, that is my fun car. And then, can you show your RC collection? I think I will at some point. I do have a couple of locations. I got like a storage unit, I have my garage, I've got a shed, so it's kind of scattered all around. But yeah, at some point I will, maybe at the 50K mark. And then, will you do an ultimate build on an RC? I am not really into massive builds. I've done stuff in the past, but I go through so many RC cars, honestly, that I don't, even if I built something, which is expensive, I'd rather take that money and buy, 2 or 3 other RC cars, rather than, not really into buying the $500 car and then throwing $1,000 of upgrades at it. I'd rather just have 3 $500 cars, right? I hope that makes sense. So yeah, probably will not be doing anything like that. Just time, expense, I wouldn't even really drive it that much, and then I just, am more into testing stock vehicles. So that's probably a no. Kevin Neller Brock, hopefully I'm saying that right. 2 things. First, your opinion on the growth of racing in the mini class. That's cool. There is more carpet racing here in the U.S. There is more of an interest in mini scale as a result, because you really need like carpet to race mini scale, in my opinion. They don't drive very well on bumpy surfaces. So if it grows, that's great. Around here, it's growing a little bit. I wouldn't say it's big yet, but yeah, it's cool, especially if it makes it easier to get into. Secondly, the decline in popular stadium truck. Yeah, that is unfortunate. I do like stadium trucks. I kind of go off and on whether I really, really like them or just kind of like them. Right now, yeah, I'm not doing as much stadium truck because there's just nothing been released. Hopefully TLR brings one back. I'm sure Team Associate will at some point come out with the T7. Yeah, so I do like stadium truck, and it is unfortunate. It's too bad, because it is a great class. Do like it a lot. Joshua Parkin, what do you do for a living? I work for a tech company here in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. So basically just solve problems, or try to make small problems go away rather than before they turn into big problems. Number 2, if you had to give up one of these foods, cheeseburgers or pizza, I would give up pizza. I definitely eat cheeseburgers a lot more often than pizza. So yeah, it'd be harder for me to give that up. TX Cash, when it comes to racing, do you think more clubs should have RTR classes? Yeah, racing is interesting because it's kind of this balance between having, new classes that other people can get into and that will appeal to them, versus having too many classes and then just not having enough people in each class. So it depends a lot on the size of the racing community wherever you live. So if there's no RTA class, yeah, there should be some entry point for novice or beginner racers. Around here they have basically a rookie class where you can drive anything you want as long as it's 2S. So I think that's good because then if you bought a Slash, that's great, you can race that. But if you didn't buy a Slash and you have whatever this or something, you can race that as well. I think they have to be 10 scale as well. But yeah, anything that gets people racing is good, but it is a balance between making something that. And the other thing with RTR classes is that people tend to cycle through really fast. Either they get into it and then they really like it, they move on to like two-wheel drive buggy or something like that, or they get into it, they don't like it, and then they drop out. So you always need a lot of incoming racers, I would say, if you have an RTR class. So that is one challenge. DrewCast76 seeking advice. He's asking about basically off-road or bashers for someone that used to race. I would say the new MT410 V2 is a good option. It looks like you're looking for a 10 scale monster truck, so that's great. It is expensive, but it really has much more closer to race level quality, performance, precision, all that stuff you would expect from a race vehicle. Much more than your typical Granite or Rival MT10 or whatever. So that's a good choice if you can afford it. Maybe the Rival MT10 if you can, because it does have the standard diff, so it drives a little bit better than I think those slipper clutch vehicles. Big Daddy 9253, what's your thoughts on the H&R Panther? I had to look that up. That's, I guess, the Hong Nor Racing drift car. Don't know anything about drifting. Never had a Hong Nor, although I think they used to be carried by OFNA here in the US and it's supposed to be a pretty good brand, so I would guess it's a good vehicle, but I honestly don't really know. DMSVS1, I'd like to see a basher comparison between the Max V2 and Crane 6S EXP, and maybe the Crane or Outcast 6S EXP. So I don't know if people have noticed, but I do comparisons between like vehicles, right? I don't ever compare like a Crane 6S versus like a Granite 4x4 because to me they're different types of vehicles. So it's not really fair to one, or it's hard to compare apples to apples when you're comparing apples to oranges, obviously. So I don't really do mixed classes. Maybe it's just my racing background, but I'm really into just doing comparisons between same types of vehicles because it doesn't make sense to me, at least, to do other things like that. I may one day make a, what's the best basher under $500, best basher under $400 type thing, but that's not really how I look at RC cars, so not something I typically do, sorry. What about your setup sheets for the B6.4? I honestly am not really don't really have anything fancy for, I typically just run kit setup for the T6.4 because they didn't have a carbon setup. I just kind of made my own, but yeah, I don't race that much nowadays, so not really the best guy to ask for race setups, but there's a lot of good stuff on Team Associated website. Those guys are way faster than me. Just pick something that's on the same surface as you, and maybe you can find a racer that you like. I tend to find certain pros that maybe they have the similar style as me or whatever, but I tend to like their setups more. So hopefully you can find that for yourself. Upright and Clear, what do you think about the new Bashware, the Crank 4S V2.5? It's nice that M2C Racing came out with one. I do not have one. So far, I have not cracked the chassis in that manner like I did on the V2, so I have not put one on. But yeah, certainly if you have any issues with the chassis braking, get that, because in my opinion, they make the nicest versions of that. Rob Drew, 4605, Team Associated Rival MT10, Reflex 14MT. Yeah, I have both of those. I mean, they're just different types of vehicles. 14MT is also very durable. The servo does go out, and it did break on mine, other than that. But it's really just more the size of the area you're driving. If you got more size, definitely get the MT10 or rougher terrain. MT4 or 14MT, you need a much smaller or smoother surface to run on. So, yeah, it's really a scale thing. Bigger versus smaller will depend on where you want to run, how much space you have. The Bruh 2777, what we say the RC market will look like in the near and future, do you think blah blah blah? So yeah, good question. So in the near future, I think some of the niche brand or niche area markets may slow down a bit. Like drag racing, I think is a little less popular. Crawling, I think, will continue to grow. I think, bashers will continue to get big. I think the RC industry as a whole, though, has slowed down a bit the last year, whether it's due to inflation or, the pandemic dying down or whatever. People just have more options and things to do. I think Team Corrales will actually do well. They've been growing every year, as far as I can tell, to really challenge Traxxas Norma, I think, at this point. They make good vehicles as well. The V1s, V2s were a little iffy. They definitely had some weaknesses, but they've pretty much made them as or more durable than some of the existing brands. Relarlo again has been killing it. I like them because they actually come with stuff that's new. It's not just rehashes of pre-existing or copies of other brands out there. So I think they will do pretty good as well. They've got a new Omni Terminator or something coming out, so that's cool. What sorts of classes and trends do you think are coming up? So I think small scale or cheaper stuff will get bigger. The cost of RC has been going up every year, especially the last few years. So stuff that is a more affordable, or maybe you could even drive indoors, you don't need as much space, I think that will grow. I think that, mini scale stuff seems to be doing well, maybe as a area, or just cheaper, more budget type vehicles. I'm glad to see, somebody like Arrma coming out the Gorgon, much more inexpensive vehicle, a 2-wheel drive, but still a really good vehicle. So anybody that invests in like the lower end stuff, I think is awesome. So I think that will grow a little bit. Racing may continue to kind of slow down. It seems to have been, but carpet racing will probably grow as well, in my opinion. It certainly has in the U.S. Could you do upgrade vehicles? Like I mentioned earlier, don't do a ton of upgrades. If there's something that I think an RC car needs, I will, mention that and, add it to whatever I'm driving, like the V2 Arrma 4S's. I did run the MTC Racing bash bars because I felt they were must-haves. But other than that, I don't spend a ton of money, time, whatever effort on upgrading vehicles, so you don't tend to see a lot of that on my channel. And the other reason is because I do so many comparisons. I don't believe in doing a fully upgraded vehicle versus a stock vehicle or whatever. People buy these things, and I just want to tell you how they are out of the box, not once they've had $800 in upgrades or something. That's just me, I guess. Johannes Wicklein, do you record all your bashing sessions? Good question. No, I don't. Occasionally, I still do actually drive for fun, and then I'm not recording. Do you drive differently when you record? Yes, that's an excellent question, actually. I do drive a little bit differently in the sense that I need to get footage. So if I do like a first drive on an RC car, I start out slower. I'm not doing the crazy jumps, the backflips, the double backflips, front flips, all that stuff. Just to get used to the vehicle, just to make sure I have at least some footage before, and then it kind of goes up from there. So by the end is when I'm doing the crazier stuff. So you'll tend to see that when I'm recording. So yeah, as a YouTuber, actually, a goal of driving is to actually get some actual footage. It's no good to take this thing out, drive it for 30 seconds, break it, and then you can't have a video. So yeah, from that perspective, yeah, I do drive a little differently. I do tend to make sure I have footage. Will you do more tracks / videos? Not anytime soon, unless they make Slash 2.0 or something legitimately different. I have tons of Slash videos already out there. I had a whole series on upgrading a 2-wheel drive. I've had, 4 or 5 Slashes at this point, so I'm not going to pick one up unless there's actually something new with it. Jack George 3892, please provide the length, width, height of Rival M10. I'm not going to, but the one thing I will say is just buy a standard size. So something like this is like a standard width and length. I think it's something like 129 by 42, something like that. Always buy standard packs if you can. I mean, they do make other packs like this one. It's like a huge 6S pack. It does fit in your Arrmas and stuff, but for 2S and 3S especially, always buy 4S. I would as well. Just always buy like a standard size. That way it'll fit every vehicle no matter what. I'm pretty sure the Rival MT10 needs like a standard pack like that. So that is what I would suggest. I don't know the length, width, and all that, but just buy a standard pack, and then you won't have any issues with that car or trying to use it in another car. Steve Chandler, I'd like to see something custom. I did comment on that, so yeah, we'll not be doing one. Bruce Campbell, do you think Arrma rigs are getting better? Yes. How are they listening to the community? This sounds like a loaded question. I think they're great at listening to the community. So they're very good. Everything I ever talked about the Arrma 4S or Outcast 4S, since the V1, they've integrated all my suggestions and have fixed them to the point where I have nothing to complain about. I mean, those are just great vehicles. They've addressed everything I've ever brought up, and so I have nothing else to say other than that. Good job, Arrma. So yeah, they are definitely getting better every year, and they definitely listen to, at least to me. Tool baggers, if you could buy from only one brand. Great question. So obviously I do racing and bashing. And to me, there's really only one brand that does pretty well at both, and that would be Team Associated. So I guess I would go with Team Associated because they make legit, obviously, world championship winning 10 scale and 8 scale race kits, and then they also make bashers like Rival MT10, Rival MT8, which I really like as well. They have their on-road stuff, you know, a bunch of different things. So yeah, Team Associate, I guess, is what I would go with, because, you know, Arrma doesn't make race kits, other brands don't make bashers, and so that would be my answer. What is your favorite Arrma release from this year? Great question. I think this will surprise people. I did like the Mojave Forest a lot. At the time of that video, I thought it was like one of the best vehicles. It was my pick for 2023 car of the year, because I thought it was game changing for the short course class. Well, whereas short course is not really my favorite class of vehicle, they did go a whole new level with that thing, and I thought it was awesome. But my favorite car is probably the Kraton 4S. I know that surprised people, because, you know, I've got the Kraton 6S. Obviously, I had the Big Rock, I had the Grom, I had all these Arrma releases, and I probably like the Kraton 4S the best out of all those. So we'll see. Have not fully, you know, tested this Kraton EXB, but this is a good one as well. Finally, Ethan Robledo, hamburger or hot dog? I feel like someone asked me this before, right? I have a soft spot for hot dogs. So yeah, if I'm at the ballpark, I do like Wiener Schnitzel, like all beef hot dogs. That's kind of my guilty pleasure. So that's my answer. So anyways, yeah, that's been a long video. Hope you enjoyed it. Definitely throw down any more other questions I may have missed, or you were curious about that you didn't get a chance to ask, and I'll try to answer them in the comment section below. But yeah, we have no plans of stopping, just doing more and more RC stuff. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. Click on those links if you want to support the channel. But do whatever you want to do. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll talk to you guys soon.